folks, how are y'all doing? My name is Rees, and welcome back to our Tekkit 2 Let's Play adventure, where today, it's time to automate high voltage solar panels at long last. Now, fortunately, if you look at this recipe, we already have 8 of the 9 components already automated. Now, of course, I am talking about the medium voltage solar panels, which is all of this, and also to a lesser extent, some of this back here. Both of these also needed to be automated, but all of those are going into creating the medium voltage solar panels. So, really, it should be pretty straightforward and easy for us to get the high voltage solar panel because we only need the IV transformer. Wrong. No, this is actually extremely complicated because in order to build this, and you can see I've already got some of the individual components queued up here that we're going to need to automate, and oh boy, is it a bit of an involved process. Okay, iridium stone, right? That's not too difficult. We got to get reinforced stone automated as well as iridium plate. Pretty straightforward. I think we could probably all agree that we can manage that. And then plasma cables. You know what? We've already got carbon plate automated, and we've already got refined iron automated, but what about the plasma? Okay, well, we've got to automate magnets. We know how to build those. We've already got the advanced alloy taken care of, but we also need to automate plasma cells, okay? All right, still, so far, not too bad. We're not too bad so far. All right, now we need to get the PEZ. Okay, well, hey, look at this. We're gonna need to automate this anyway. We're gonna need to automate these. This is already done. Got to get some advanced circuits. Okay, it's all starting to pile up, isn't it? We got to automate all of this. Yeah, it's gonna take a while. My original plan, when I sat down, because I knew we had a lot to do, but I also knew we'd already done some of it. At some point, we had these and these automated, so we just got to spin those back up again, get them running once more. And then I already knew that, you know, we had these taken care of and these taken care of. So I was like, you know what? I bet I can, in one sitting, get all of this knocked out. And then I actually broke it all down and realized maybe not, but I'm going to give it a red-hot go. I'm going to swing for the fences, and let's just see how much we can get done. I think this will probably end up being an episode of many clock wipes, because so much of what we're going to do here we've already done in the series. You know, I don't really feel like a lot of the automation is going to look like this. You know, we've already done this, and we've already done that, and we've already done this. You know, you've seen a lot of this sort of automation already in the past, so I don't imagine that a lot of what I'm going to be setting up here is going to be too different, but when it is, I'll bring you in. You know, I'll unpause the recording, and we'll discuss what's going on. Until then, I gotta find, like, I don't know, something to watch or listen to, because this is going to be a bit of a process. Well, immediately, we're kind of unpausing, because we need to discuss something here. In order to build the energy crystals, we need a diamond and redstone. And if I want to automate this similarly to how I've automated these contraptions down here, what I'm going to want to do is have an ender chest with both of those objects in it. And I would normally keep that stocked up using the item translocators, if I can translocate them. That's not how that works. There we go. The issue is getting them out of a black hole unit. Now, we know that we can't use them to pump items into a black hole unit, or at least when we've tried that in the past, it hasn't worked. But the question is, can we do it the opposite direction? And we're going to go ahead and we're going to set the whole thing up properly here. I'm going to go ahead and put this in there and configure it with diamonds. Now, remember, in the past, we've tried to use the automation on these to have it send a full stack, and for whatever reason, that just does not work. It just sends items indefinitely. But we do also know that setting these up down here and configuring these to 5,000 for some reason works. If there's 5,000 objects in there, it doesn't keep sending them indefinitely. So it seems to just be 64 that's broken. I don't know why, but we're going to go with 63. Let's say we want to have 63 in there. And then if I turn that on, interesting. Okay, so you can't pump items into the black hole unit, and in fact, we'll demo that again because we tried it multiple times, and it'll send one item and then no more. And if you see the number ticking up there, remember they're coming down from up here too. So we still don't quite understand why. We know that it's not the ender chest either, because we can pump items in and out of the ender chest just fine. For example, we tried to set this up like that, and that part worked. The translocating out of the ender chest into here worked just fine. It just then wouldn't craft the objects because the crafting logistics pipe got deeply confused. So you can pipe items out of here just hunky-dory. You know, if we take that out, boom, there it goes. That's good to know. That basically answers the question I had of can we do this, and we can. So what we're going to do is we're going to have... Oh, you'll think this is clever too. So it's white, because this is the white floor, right? You know, all the floors have different colors. And this one down here is white. So white, and then it's going to have diamonds and redstone. So it's white, blue, and red. See, how clever is that? I thought it was pretty decently clever. You don't have to agree. That's fine. That's okay. I don't need you to agree. Something else we could do is we could just have one for diamonds, and then we could go get the redstone one up here, and that would work just as well, because remember, we can't, if they're going into a automated crafting table, we have to have the providers on them anyway. That's what we found out. We can't translocate from here to here. We have to use a provider pipe, so we might as well just have the two individuals. And, in fact, I think that's what I'm going to do. So I'm actually going to change this to be a diamond pipe, and then I'm going to go figure out which one the redstone pipe is. It's orange, black, black, and I'll set those up next to each other with providers. And I don't know why I'm explaining that now. I could just do it and then say, hey, look, I did it. Okay, we're back, and I have reached something of an impasse here. I've got this set up, you know, we've got the crystals, but then what I was going to do was I did go ahead, we talked about this previous episode, start of this episode. It all runs together at some point, you know, but I did set up a firewall here to block these items from leaving this particular section of the network, so that everything set up here would be wholly dedicated to, well, everything here. And that's how I was going to keep this. I was going to say these cables are just for manufacturing in the long run, the medium voltage solar panels, but do I actually want to do that? I can't decide. See, what I was going to do over here was I was going to say, okay, you know what we need is the raw ingredients. We can just pull that in from, like, the wall over there, same as this is doing. But then what if we didn't? You know, what if we did just set up a couple of the ender chests over here, so that instead of pulling them from way over yonder, they were just right next to where they needed to be, and then we just manufactured, you know, the individual ingredients over here, the copper cable, the electronic circuit, and then everything had its own electronic circuit and copper cable manufacturing, you know, it wasn't pulling from other parts of the network. But then I thought, well, maybe that's wasteful, because we already have that set up over here. And why not just use what we already have set up? But then I thought, well, maybe that complicates things. And then you have items zooming over here. But then that's like such a short little journey to get over here. And they're already being manufactured. Is that silly and wasteful? But then again, we have the space for it. But is it silly and wasteful? And then I realized the most frustrating thing of all. Notice how every single one of these, the end product, is oriented towards the middle, right? You start on the outside with the raw material, and then you get to the end product at the very end. It does that on every single one of these, okay? Except for this one, where for some reason I put the high voltage solar panels on the end. This whole thing has to be flipped to match, and it doesn't matter. But it bothers me, so maybe it does. But here's what I've decided to do. I think that, right, we're going to go ahead and say it's okay to use these cables, and it's okay to use these electronic circuits. And I'm going to remove those from here. Okay, there we go. No longer blocked. And we can go ahead and get rid of these. But, I don't know, I might go ahead and set up, like I was saying, the ender chests, so that they can just get pulled right from the source right here. And I don't know why I didn't do that over here, you know? I mean, how many actual raw ingredients get pulled into this? I think it's mostly metals and things. I could have just set all of these up. In a way, you know what? I might come back and redo this. You know, maybe between episodes, or we'll do a channel member special or something where I kind of invert this whole thing. And then also add the raw ingredients right here on the end, so it's not such a journey it's going on. Because why not? We have... I mean, that's kind of like one of the reasons to use the ender chests, when you think about it. Because the ender chests allow you to have the items you need, I mean, like right here, once these run out, which... surprisingly, it's going. You know, I think they might actually drain. This is already down to 6.5. I kind of thought that those would just be going forever, because they were so full. But once that's done... you know, we can sort of re-enable our limits that we've got set up, and I think this is going to work. Okay, I think listen, I'm just going to keep working. Okay, I don't know why I brought you back in for this. I apologize. I've wasted your time. Okay, so it should all be set up and ready to go now. We've got our 3 ingredients chest down here. I thought about combining them all into one again. I know I said I wasn't going to with the diamond, but then I realized that this was already set up earlier in a previous installment to all be combined into one chest with a almost stack of each of these objects and some others. And then I realized, why? Why try to save space? We have space. Nothing else is going to be built over here, although we might change that. Maybe we add a divider in the middle and we add something else to this end that can fit. You know, why not? It could be done. Because with this setup, it can kind of be scaled to go infinitely fast and it's fine. What just went into here? What the heck just went into there? Hopefully an energy crystal. Oh, you know what? I think I had some things shoved in here previously. Yeah, I think I had an energy crystal in there, and it finally had a place to go, because I configured these the same as I've done all of these back here, so just, you know, quick explanation. We do have this blocking the raw items from getting in here, because we only want those being pulled out over here, where we have provider modules and item sinks. Again, the item sinks are just in case it pulls those items out of here, and then has no room for them. They can go back, and that'll be fine. Crafting modules, you know what those are all about. These have, actually I want to do the active suppliers on top. It makes literally no difference whatsoever, but my brain likes it like this better. So, item sync modules, so that if these items end up anywhere else in the network and they need to come back somewhere, they can. And then we also have the active supplier modules, and those are there set to 127 of a given item. But I want to see it actually work, so I'm going to go ahead and hit infinite. And let's see what happens. What I would like to see is a flood of objects moving around. And it looks like that's what we're getting. Well, we got a little bit of lapis there. First off, this is going to have to kick off. But is it? Because there's no real reason for this to be doing anything when you think about it, because there's so many energy crystals in here already. It should just be pulling out of there, which it should do, because it... I forgot to set this up properly. This should have a provider module on it, because... Yeah, okay. Well, see, this is why we do these little moments where I break and I say, look, everyone, I did it. Let me demonstrate. And then that way you can have a moment to look at it and with me, and together we can determine that I set something up incorrectly. So, I mean, we were close there, but what we've got to have is we need to have, first off, the active supplier to request a certain number of items, the item sync module, just in case some get lost in the network, and then a provider module, and that's going to be what starts funneling those into here. Now, of course, you can't stack those, I just remembered. So it's just going to fill this up. The alternative is we could use something called a... Oh, gosh, I can't remember the exact name for it either. It's some kind of object that... First off, is this going to run at any point? Why is this... What is the holdup? Is it lapis? It's getting the electronic circuits from over yonder. And it's getting these energy crystals, and they're filling up down here, which is okay. But there's no lapis. I set up lapis, didn't I? Which one of you is lapis? You're lapis. You are literally... You have a provider module. What is your issue? Where are you going? Because you're very clearly not going into here. Oh! What the heck? Why is this bugged? There's no reason for this to be bugged. That's severely odd. Plop that back down. How weird! How very weird. Okay, provider, item sync. Why was that one broken? Well, there we go. So this should be getting lapis now, I hope. Yeah, little tiny spurts, 6 at a time, which I guess is how many it needs to create one of these. So this will slowly start to tick up. That's odd. That it's only doing them one at a time. Because I guarantee you, if I went over here, and I configured this one to be infinite, what you would find is that this would not hesitate at all to just fill this thing up. And yet it is. It is hesitating. What the heck? Is it because... You can only create one at a time. They don't stack. So it can't just import a massive amount of them and then fill up the number. It has to wait until the one is removed. Very interesting. Very interesting indeed. Well, that definitely explains some things. What I was going to say is there's something called a satellite pipe that you can build. So we could have, like this, be the satellite pipe, okay? We could store those inside of here, and then tell it, hey, instead of filling this up, kind of use this as a buffer. And I suppose now might be a good time to try that. You know, we've not experimented with that before. So we have the advanced satellite upgrade, and I have no clue what that does. The satellite logistics pipe. So type active request destination. A crafting pipe can send additional inputs here. And then we also have the logistics fluid satellite pipe. But I think this is probably the one we want. And we're going to go ahead and build that. I'm pretty sure the way it works is you would plug that on here. and then just tie it into the, well, tie it into the network in general. There's no module for it, I can't help but notice. There's no satellite module. There's the satellite upgrade. I don't know if you would... you know what? Let's look into it. The Advanced Satellite Upgrade is an upgrade card added by Logistics Pipe. It is used to upgrade the crafting Logistics Pipe and crafting modules. When installed, the entire input grid of the crafting pipe / module can be sent to a satellite Logistics Pipe. Furthermore, the player has the option to send different ingredients to different satellites. Gosh, I wish I understood what that meant. Good gosh, this is just absurd, the amount of nonsense we have in here. Okay, so I went ahead and compiled the thing. I've got it right here. We're going to build, as we always do, about 5 of the things for no real reason. What is with all these chickens around here? We're going to see if we can figure out whether or not this works the way I think it does. The way I think it works is instead of importing an infinite number of items into here, it should just look at, you know, oh, they're in this inventory, I'll just pull them from there, I think is how it works. So there it is. There is the satellite pipe, and then we need to configure it, I believe, and give it a name. I don't know if we can name it just anything. I'm just going to call it... what are these? Are they energy crystals? We'll call it... energy. We'll call it what it is. Energy crystals created successfully. Okay, now we want to grab an unrouted transport pipe. By the way, channel member and executive producer, possibly of this episode, but definitely of some episodes, Jake Yates has informed me that there is a module you can apply that makes pipes opaque, but it does not work with the unrouted transport pipe, which is unfortunate. But now, if we interact with this, satellites, select energy crystals. Select. Does that mean it's going to pull those out of there now? I mean, it's definitely not showing anything over here. Can I change? Maybe I need to do this. Hold on. Let's look up energy crystals. And then we're going to drag that over to here. And so now we're telling it, hey, that's where those are. Oh, hold on. Did something just happen there? Did something just happen there? I want to see something happen here. It looks like things are going into there. Yeah, those are being piped into here. Which is not what I thought would happen. If I take all of these out, what I assumed would happen was that it would get the items out of this pipe for its crafting operations. I am deeply confused about the function of this now. Is it even manufacturing any more of these? What are we at? 614? Okay. Energy crystals. Why are objects being sent into there? And where are they coming from? It looks like they're coming from out of here. So energy crystals are being... Hello? Hello. Please? I'm not asking for much here. Just import the dang energy crystals, okay? Do I need to, like... unset? There you go. That's turned off now. There we go. Alright, that's what we had to do. So now they're going to come in slowly. One at a time. For some reason. This is ticking up. Every time I think I understand this gosh darn mod, it turns out that I'm actually wrong, and I have no clue what's going on. But you know what I do know? I know that I'm going to set this back, because we have plenty of these. I'm going to set this back to partial. I'm going to do the same here. Set this to partial. And there we go. And this one also is not going to work. We're going to need to change that out to a triple as well. Do I have any triples on me? We got satellite pipes that I'm not going to be using, because they don't work the way I thought they did. Again, I tend to get upset at these things for not working the way I think they should. Also, we're all out of provider pipes, so I need to go build some more of those. And also, we'll never know what happened to those items that got spat out on the ground earlier. Everything's fine. Everything. Don't let the Minecraft music trick you into thinking otherwise. Everything's gonna be alright. It's gonna be alright all the time. And there we go. So now that is configured with the active supplier module, the item sync in case something gets mismatched in the network and it needs to come back here, and a provider. And honestly, yeah, it makes sense it needed to be set up exactly the same as this one. I don't know why it wasn't. But that shouldn't run at all, because currently we have a big stock supply of both of these. But we did test it, and we know that it will run in the future if it needs to. Albeit extremely slowly, which almost has me thinking that maybe we should just leave this one running, because of all the machines, this one runs so painfully slowly that it's almost the one that needs to be left on, because it's just so slow. But I mean, yeah, you know what? Actually, now that I've said it, yeah, just maybe not forever, but for right now, I'm gonna leave both of these turned on and just let them keep running because, I mean, look, do we want to time it? I think this one's probably a little bit faster, but it's still pretty slow. And also, it goes down because they go to the next one in line. So soon as, boom, okay, we're going, we're counting. We're waiting any minute now. This is going to be a huge moment. This is going to be a big deal for everyone. We're all getting excited. We're all getting amped up. This is going to be huge. We're all waiting. Any minute now, it's going to pop in here. Any second now, just any minute, any minute now, any second, it's gonna, you gotta wait just like two more seconds. There it is, 25 seconds. That is abhorrently slow. And the only reason I configure for it... Hold on. If I get out, like, a few of these, and I just go ahead and stuff them in here... No, not that. Don't do that. See, so... Yeah, we're just waiting on energy crystals to get here, is what we're waiting on. Why isn't it doing the energy crystals more quickly? Is it because they can't stack? I thought that's what the satellite pipes were for! I don't understand! Also, before it was filling this up with them, but very slowly. What about you? What's your issue? I guess that they don't stack. I guess that's what it is. Now wait. Now wait just a minute here. No, that doesn't work. Well, does it? I was going to say... satellite, right? I don't know what I'm doing anymore. I genuinely have no idea. If I plop that on there, okay? Boom, there's that. And then I connect it up to here. Okay? And then we configure it yet again. Just one. I don't care. That's fine. And then we configure this one to use satellite pipe 1. Well, that's confusing. Why is that happening? Why is it trying to put Lapatron crystals in there? Why is that happening? And then you're... Oh my gosh, what is happening? I kind of thought that maybe it would send the export up here more quickly or something. But now this is happening and I don't get it. Lapatron crystals are coming out of here. And going to here. Why? There, no more of that nonsense. Maybe it needs to be plugged directly into here. Oh, good, that's broken the whole system again. That's great. Love when that happens. Okay, look, once again, I acknowledge that I don't understand how the satellite pipe works. I would like to unset that, and then I guess you know what we're gonna do. Oh, I can't interact with this pipe anymore. What if I just relogged? The pipe is gone entirely for some reason. along with everything that was in it. Why? That means that we lost an item sync, we lost an active supplier, and we lost a provider, and there's no reason for it other than the satellite pipes appear to be profoundly broken. Not just that I don't know how they work. It's not just that. It's that they are actually profoundly broken, because anytime you place one down, it breaks whatever it's connecting to. We want that. We want it set to, I guess, infinite, but not forever infinite, but also, yes, infinite for now. Okay, well, let's try this then. If this is going to be so painfully slow, because the end product doesn't stack, does it make sense to have a second one, right? Does this make any sense at all? For some reason, it's not importing items. I don't know why. Do we need to set a higher priority? Priority number 1. Okay. So that definitely made them go in there, but now are they not going into the bottom one? What if this one's also priority number 1? They now have the same priority, then what happens? Do these things happen on a schedule? Like, beat, 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 and so they can only export, you know, on the boop when they export? Well, this is dumb then. Why can't it supply to both of them? What's the issue? I can't believe that we made it literally this far. We built one gosh darn thing, and we're already hung up again because this mod is a mess. But if no, don't do that. Don't do that. Put this here, and then we're gonna add a whole second row of providers up top. Now will it supply to both of them, or will it just send double to one? Let's see what happens on the next little... Oh good, the top's not doing anything. Even though it's set up the same as the bottom with provider pipes, right? Or provider modules. It's like the system can only ever support one machine at a time. Which is bizarre, because even before, when we were using pipes to keep the machines fed, it was able to provide enough to all the machines, but then again, we are dealing with the crafting pipes, and they're weird. They're weird, and they don't work right. The system only works with the one logistics crafting table. If you have more than one, it says, "So long, pal. Not gonna help you at all," and we can change it with priorities. We can set the priority higher on this one, but then that just means that it only sends them to that one. And I don't know what to change because I don't know what the bottleneck is here. Is the bottleneck the crafting table itself? Is the bottleneck the crafting pipes? Is the bottleneck the active supplier or the requester? Anything? I don't know. The only thing I know for sure is that we're not going to be doubling the speed at which these are produced, which means that this right here, what you're about to see, that's as fast as it's going to go. That's it. And then we wait several more seconds for it to... But why? But looking at it now, yeah, you know what? It does feel like this is the bottleneck. This is definitely the bottleneck, because otherwise... This is set up exactly the same as just having one of these set up right here, and then having a second crafting module. Like, this should just be going, but it's like, well... This over here is requesting them, and it's getting them all from... But this... See, over here, what we have is basically the same setup. We have one active supplier, and we have a bunch of providers, and it works. It pulls from all of them. You know, you'll notice that it gets filled up, but then eventually it does pull it out. All of these are running. All of these are constantly getting a fresh supply and exporting their goods. That system works just fine, so why do it not work here? Why do it not work? How is it set up differently? How is this set up any differently than this, right? Active supplier, item sync module. Over here we have the same thing. We have an active supplier and an item sync module. The only difference is we also have a provider so that it can provide these items to items further down, but that shouldn't matter. If this ends up being a bottleneck, if this ends up being the thing that stalls progress, we're absolutely replacing these with the old crafting tables, because it makes so much more sense, because they're so much faster, they can be souped up, and they don't have these weird problems. I'm okay with the crafting logistics pipes over here because they're fast, they're darn fast. They get stuff done. Over here, though, for whatever reason, I'm assuming it's because they're not stacking. Weird and slow! And that's okay. That's okay. We're gonna just carry on for right now, and like I said, later if we have to, we replace these with the crafting tables, and it'll be so much faster, and I'm almost tempted to just do it right now. Dang it. Alright, so I actually had to build an overflow chest here because my inventory is getting so full of these, and going back and forth over to that wall just adds way too much time to all of this. But here's what we've done. It's effectively the exact same setup, but using the auto workbenches instead. And we've got a bit of a hodgepodge going back over here. These have the quicksort modules. This one has a provider module because down here, I could not simply use, as I did in this one, an item sink to get all of the items. I had to use an active supplier module because why? Why did I have to do that? Oh, that's right. Because this up here was not configured with a quicksort module, and I didn't feel like making a tier 4 pipe to fit that in there along with everything else that this needs. Now, I could create a buffer chest, so another black hole unit maybe over here to hold a certain number of these, so it imports from there and stores over here, and then there's a quicksort module. But I figured, you know what, I'm just experimenting right now, so it's fine. This will use the tried and true method of the old item sink and a provider module, and then this will use an active supplier module. And then there's actually no way to get the items back out of there once they're produced, which is why this isn't running anymore. Which, I mean, I should probably go ahead and correct that, because that's actually a flaw on my part. I did intend to have that. Oh, good gosh, I did just take one out, did I not? Why is everything so oddly broken around here right now? There we go. No. Wait. No. There, that's what we wanted. You get out of there. I don't even know why you're in there. Although, actually, you know what? In the future, we will want a provider module in there. So, no, that is correct. We do need to have that. But that means that this should now be exporting. Beautiful, so it's done. And the issue is, some of you may have noticed, we're still waiting on it to pull the dang item out. That is still the holdup. So I can speed this up. I can add speed upgrades to make this way faster. But it's only going to export them on like some weird set internal interval. Now let's actually do speed it up. Let's do plug in some additional power. We should have plenty of flux cables. Pop a couple of holes in here. Route that kind of down. Like so. Plug that in there. There we go. So those should be getting a crazy boost. So this kind of brings up the question, well, if we're going to use these now to manufacture these, because look, it's done, it's ready, it's just waiting on the item to get pulled out. Well, now, would we not simply use the item translocators? Because it kind of feels like that's the move. Hey, watch this, okay? I was trying to set up a demo of how... I know, we were going to get this done, and now I just keep doing experiments, but watch this, right? Okay, oh, gosh, I need to put an item translocator underneath here, but how do I do it? Watch. Oh, dang it. Don't do it. Don't do this now. It worked. I promise you it worked. There it is! There it is! You just approach, and you gotta time your shift just right, and you can get underneath it. And then click, click, and then click. Perfect. Apply our glowstone while we're down here. Then we pop right back out. We want you to make the Lapatron crystals. And it's not spelled like that, apparently. Is it Laptron, not Lap... Oh, it's Lapotron. I knew that. I don't know whether or not this is going to be intelligent enough to only fill in these two and not all of these. Oh, no, I'm sorry. This one and then all of these, but not this one. I'm unsure, because we need this one filled in over... the only way to test it is going to be to turn it on and see what happens. You are diamonds. You're supposed to be lapis. But did you get filled up? These aren't full either. Oh, that's right. No, wait, you can export from these. We've done so in the past. We're literally doing it right up here. That's what we learned, is while you can't import into them, you can export from them. Why? Why are you... The way that you are. Why do you insist on, you know what? Maybe they don't stack, maybe they are there, and I just can't get a hold of them. Let's do this first off. So we want a stack of 64 energy crystals. And then once those get here, and they should come from over yonder. Yep, there they go. Once they get here, we're going to find out, this is going to fill up. We'll start producing these. Did it just produce one just then? Was it really that fast? Okay, in that case, let's do one of these. And we will configure it. We can set this to an exact number if we want to. But out of curiosity, how much faster and efficient will this be? We'll stick a glowstone on there. We'll turn that on. That actually makes 0 sense whatsoever, now that I think about it, because there's never going to be more than one of these in here. And then also, yes, I have figured out the glaring issue, which is that you can't do this into a black hole unit. I'd forgotten. Alright? I'd somehow forgotten that horrendous fact that for whatever reason the black hole units are dumb. So, with that in mind, we're gonna grab one of these, and then we're gonna hook it up with one of these, and we're gonna say, hey, go into there. It's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. Now, we did run out of, what? Energy crystals? We must have run out of something. Oh, no, they're going again. Oh, we ran out of the electronic circuits. Beautiful. Absolutely just stunningly beautiful. Of course, the issue being that this is now about to be full. And then what? We want to get them inside of the black hole unit. Wait a minute! Wait a minute! Did we ever verify that this worked? In the previous episode, we set this up. We probably got comments. That episode hasn't come out yet. At some point, someone's going to point out, wait a minute, Reese, that doesn't work, what you've done. With all of you're so proud of yourself, having set up this system, but it literally does not work. I just forgot, okay? Is this configured to set, yeah, 1,000 of them? This doesn't work. We know that it doesn't work. I can't believe I released an entire episode where I was like, oh, look guys, look what I figured out. Wait a minute. Which gosh darn minute? I'm so... Oh, my brain! My brain is doing a thing, because literally right back here, the black hole tanks work. The black hole tanks work just fine with liquid, and it works with the liquid translocators. So why doesn't the item translocators work? The black hole tank doesn't... Tank? Fluid contain... there's gotta be a way! There's gotta be a way! Interestingly, someone has actually gone on here and said translocators do not transfer to black hole units, industrial foregoing. To be more precise, they do transfer, but approximately 1 item per 30 seconds, even with a glowstone stack upgrade. Wait. 1 item per 30 seconds? I've never seen that happen before. This has been on here for a long time, and it's not gone up at all. See, the issue is that means that now both of these setups are invalid. We never tested them last time because they were only ever configured to put 1,000 items into here, and we were like, yeah, but, there's already way more than that, so it's just... I'm at my wit's end here. I'm very much at my wit's end. The solution to this is simple. Okay? The solution is simple. We just need to get the dang pipes to pull items out of the auto workbench faster than they currently are. Because look, we got the Lapatron crystal, they're getting made really quickly, but if we come over here, and let's say we replace that with one of these, okay? There we go. And then this is configured. Presumably, I don't think I took anything out. Let's see, what does this pipe got in it? It's got absolutely nothing. Well, what do you have in you? You have that? Right, that's right. Okay, so you need to actually stay there. But then if we get a provider module and an active supplier module, this one's set up for energy crystals. So let's actually configure this one. Oh, shoot. Hold on. Wait, did I need... No. Yeah, we're good. Okay, provider module. And then configure this one here for Lapotron crystals. All right? An infinite amount of them, just for the sake of testing. And I plop that on there. It should pull it out of here. Yep. That's as fast as it's going to do it. It's not going to do it again. And then there it goes again. So slow. Look, they're making them instantaneously. That's our holdup right now. Otherwise, the system works. Otherwise, we can go back to the exact same system we had before using the logistics crafting pipe. What we have to do is figure out why it's so slow. Why does it only export them every so often? Okay, hear me out here. Hear me out here. Hear me out right here. Okay, if I'm going to set that up right there. Okay, watch this. We're going to take these and put them into there. Okay. So that'll fill up. And then down here, we will have that set up. And we will remove the provider from there and move the provider to up here. And so now, does that extract them from there more quickly? Oh, of course. Yeah, no, I see the issue. No one needs to comment. I see it. Put down your pitchforks. I see the issue. There we go. So now theoretically, that should extract from there. Yeah, and it does it at more than one at a time. So we've got 235, 237. Okay, wow, it does it at about 2 at a time. How impressive is that? But possibly we can change that now by taking, and again, we're going to experiment with these in spite of the fact that it's never worked for us even once. We're going to stick that in there, and we've got the provider. We're going to stick in all of our item extraction upgrades, all 5 of them. So that was 2, but maybe it takes a minute for those to take effect. That was another 2. That did not seem to benefit us at all. Okay. Is there 2? Because, wait a minute. Hold on. Was it... was it genuinely 2? Okay, you know what? Alright, better idea then. Let's crank this up, and we'll say, do a whole stack. And let's see what happens. It's still gonna go 1 at a time. Why is it gonna go 1 at a time? It went 2 at a time because I had 2 of them in there, which is silly. All right, what if we did this? All right, what if we did this? What if we did 1 of them, and there's 9 inside of it? Okay. Then what are you gonna do? You gonna do 9 at a time? You're gonna do 1 at a time. Okay. All right. Sure! Item stack extraction upgrade probably doesn't make a difference when you can't stack the items. Also, the item extraction upgrade doesn't seem to make a difference either. Item speed upgrades might make the items go faster if we could actually plug them in there, but, you know, so that's item stack, action speed. Maybe... No, we can't put action speed upgrade. You know what would probably make it go faster, I just realized. But we wouldn't be able to control, again, what we want, which is to... We want to be able to set the amount that go in here, is what we want to be able to do. We want to make sure it never goes over a certain amount. But, you know, saying we give up on that plan, take that out, put a quicksort module in there, take that out, put an item sink that's configured for Lapatron crystals. There we go. Plop that in there. Yeah. 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 Look at this. See, now that's a system there. That probably would have worked if we had just been extracting them directly from here instead of from here, right? And in fact, let's just find out. No, that wouldn't work because you have to use the... You have to use the... Do I already try this? Do I already try going in from the top to see if that would work? Let's see. Let's grab a couple of these. We'll throw them in there. Had a stack upgrade, you know, why not? It just hates them. It just... What if I unchecked that? It's just for some arbitrary reason it hates them. See, if I just wanted it to run forever, this would be fun. I cannot believe this is what this episode has turned into. I cannot believe that this is what this episode has become. I'm so upset. To heck with it! To heck with it! Okay. Here it is. The definitive setup that I'm not changing again. Okay? We have our redstone. We have our diamonds. Those are being pumped into here, where they become energy crystals. Did I get the... Yeah, I don't know about the speed upgrades on those, but I guess it's not consuming power because they're not doing anything right now, so it's actually fine. That hops into here. It doesn't hop. It translocates. But that's where we have the energy crystals. The energy crystals then, because you can't pump them into a black hole unit, we've got a logistics chassis MK1 with a provider module, and then we have an active supplier requesting 128 of those set to partial. That's not going to do anything right now. It's also going to be incredibly slow when it does it, but I don't know what else to do. If any of you, I'm begging you. If I had knees to bend, I would be begging you on bended knees, okay? If you know, because that's the holdup. We now know definitively the problem is the active supplier. And if we add 2 active suppliers, it pulls 2 at a time instead of 1. The active supplier seems to hate items that don't stack, and it only pulls them 1 at a time, and it does that on this incredibly slow rhythm. If you know how to speed that up, let me know. I know. We already had it set up using like a hopper or whatever to dump them back into the black hole unit. We could just do that. But I want to be able to regulate the number in the black hole unit, and the only way I know to do that is, 1, using these, but those don't work. It doesn't work with translocators. That's why this doesn't work. That's why this doesn't actually work. Okay? Or by using these. And I think that would work. And I've got that one set to 60. That doesn't count. Now, this one got it set to 128. I've got this one set to also 128, but also infinite, just to make sure the system worked. And I can confirm it works. You see how this stays full? And then every so often, on these beats, on these regular beats, we get 1 object. So I'm going to go ahead and now set that to partial, and it won't run again. None of this will run again until it runs out of here. And this gets down to 126 or whatever, and then it'll produce 1. And it'll be incredibly slow for no reason. We know it can be faster, and it just isn't. And that kind of means that all of this was a waste. If that's the cadence, then we all could have just left it the way it was with the other crafting pipes and the crafting tables. Okay, we could have just left it alone and walked away from it. But I wanted to experiment, and I don't want to put it back that way because I've already gone this far with it, and I feel like I probably... If you just know, again, begging, bended knees here, if you know how to make this faster, please tell me, because I can't figure it out. There doesn't appear... I don't need the pipes to be faster. I need the rhythm, the cadence at which this summons objects to be faster. Because I want to use it to limit the amount of objects inside of here, but I don't know how. I could just store them inside of here. That would work. They don't need to also go into here. And technically the way that this is configured with the provider module means that any systems downwind will draw them out of here. So we're not going to run into a situation... Actually, now that I think about it, we're never going to run into a situation. Really, at this point, we could just take the active supplier out of here, and we could leave, like, the quick item sink, and we could just have this act as, like, an infinite overload in case... I'm gonna fix this setup here. I might do the same thing, where I just have them go into a chest. I'll do that, I guess. We didn't get nearly as far as I had hoped. I didn't expect that this would be what stalled us. I thought we were going to get so much further today. Until next time, thank you folks for watching. God bless you, and I'll see you later. Goodbye!